Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking our Piper, Fergus Russell. Distinguished guests, graduands, your families and your friends, and Bond University colleagues, welcome to this 138th Bond University graduation and to the 11th annual graduation for the conferring of degrees in medicine. It's my pleasure now to introduce Bond University's Vice-Chancellor and President, Professor Tim Brailsford.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. To our graduands. Well, you finally made it. Not quite, I should say. There's just a couple of formalities to get over first. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this, as you've just heard, 11th annual graduation of the graduands from the School of Medicine. Look, we run a number of graduation ceremonies throughout the year for various faculties and the disciplines that we have, and the medicine graduation is the last graduation of the year. It's always a particularly special occasion because medicine is the toughest program to get into at this university. It's also our longest program by duration, and it's probably the most taxing program for students to get through. It challenges our students in many ways, and deservedly so. It is a very noble profession of which they're about to enter. And so I very much look forward, together with the rest of the audience, in congratulating each and every one of you as you come up to receive your testama. Ladies and gentlemen, I acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet here this afternoon, and they are the people of the Yugambeh language group. And I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, and I do so on your behalf and in the spirit of reconciliation. Can I formally acknowledge our 8th Chancellor, the Honourable Dr. Annabelle Bennett, ACSC, who will preside over today's ceremony, and Dr. Bennett will say a few words in a moment. I also acknowledge our occasional speaker, Dr. Darryl Gregor, OAM. Darryl is a great friend and supporter of this institution, and particularly this program. I also welcome Darryl's wife, Joan, who is in the academic procession. I acknowledge our staff, the leadership group in the Faculty of Health Sciences and School of Medicine. I acknowledge my colleagues, many of which sitting behind me, and other distinguished guests. I acknowledge each and every one of you who have chosen to attend today's ceremony. I understand the opportunity cost on your time is extremely significant, and for you to make the effort to be here on this special occasion to see your loved ones walk across the stage, I'm sure when I speak on their behalf, they are very pleased to see so many of you here. By its nature, Bond is a university that draws people from all over the country and indeed all over the world. Across the various disciplines and across all of our faculties, we draw roughly about a third of our students from overseas. About a third of our students come from states and territories other than Queensland, and about a third of our students are locals, so to speak. If you look around the room, you will see the breadth and the diversity represented here. So all of these nations whose flags fly proudly here are nations from which students have come to study here at this university. We pride ourselves on the diversity of our student cohort, our international reach, and the way in which we train and educate our graduates to be global citizens. As noted earlier, this ceremony marks the 11th cohort of medical graduates from Bond University, and while some of our peer universities have celebrated their 100th cohort, our youth does not deter us, nor do we believe acts as a barrier or a hindrance to success and to the pursuit of excellence. We have an absolute focus on being the best and ensuring that we produce graduates who strive to be the very best in both their professional and personal lives. I read analysis from a recent survey. Several of you in the audience may have seen this. They produce surveys probably on a sort of biennial basis where they ask a wide range of people in society what they think about a range of matters. And one of the questions was on the trustworthiness of professions. And I noted yet again that the medical profession was ranked among society, by society, as the most trustworthy at 97%. I should note, scoring just above academics and scientists at 93%. But the responsibility for the health, both physical and mental, over another person is a heavy weight. And it's a heavy weight that our graduates have willingly chosen. At all times, trust, honesty and integrity are essential attributes in the doctor-patient relationship. I trust that our graduates' education and their experiences here at Bond have prepared them well to meet those challenges. We remain proudly focused on our students and on each and every one of our graduands. We remain proud of the diversity of a student cohort, and we remain proud of the development of your achievements and indeed your successes, which I'm sure are going to come in your future careers. Ladies and gentlemen, you can follow this afternoon's proceedings on the program on your chairs. Please respect and acknowledge each other, and I ask that you respect and acknowledge each and every one of our graduands as they come up here through the graduation process. Graduation ceremonies are inevitably about your particular loved one, but recognise that they are part of a wider cohort, and each and every student deserves the same amount of respect. This is a very special occasion. It's an occasion that has been hard-earned by these very special people here in front of us today. So, ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy this afternoon's ceremony. It's now my pleasure to introduce this afternoon's guest speaker, Dr. Darryl Gregor, OAM. And it's particularly apt that Dr. Gregor is addressing you today because he was instrumental in supporting the establishment of Bond's program in medicine, together with Dr. Peter Heine. In return, and our students will know this, in return the university named in their honour the Gregor Heine Lecture Theatre. So all those classes you've had in the Gregor Heine Lecture Theatre, that's the Gregor, okay. The establishment of medicine at Bond was the result of many years of hard work, intensive lobbying, and would not have occurred without the backing of the medical profession. And to this day, the university is forever grateful to colleagues such as Darryl, who were such strong advocates. Dr. Gregor has substantial experience and is known for his leadership and pioneering clinical work as an ophthalmologist and eye surgeon, especially in the fields of cataract and refractive surgery. Dr. Gregor has for many years shared his knowledge of this specialist surgery, both in Australia and more broadly, while maintaining a busy practice as a consulting ophthalmologist. He was one of the first doctors in Australia to implant an intraocular lens. He is also a true local. It was right here on the Gold Coast that Dr. Gregor opened Queensland's first licensed day theatre in 1985. Darryl has lectured far and wide, including Japan, the United States of America, and various countries in Europe. He was one of the founding partners of the Eye Centre and a founding partner of the Laser Vision Centre. He's a member of the Vision Eye Institute, which manages and operates 34 medical facilities across Australia. Dr. Gregor is in his 6th year as a member of the governing body, that is the council of this university. And I can personally attest that in that role he's greatly assisted, sharing his knowledge. He's always generous with his time, as indeed he is again today, and he has constantly served as a very energetic ambassador for the university. Dr. Gregor also serves the community most generously. He's a long-standing supporter of the Bleach Arts Festival and sits on its board of directors. And he also supports a number of local charities and community organisations. In 2014, in the Australia Day Honours List, he was awarded an Order of Australia Medal. Ladies and gentlemen, please join with me in welcoming Dr. Darryl Gregor.
Thanks for those very kind words, Tim. Chancellor, the Honourable Dr. Annabel Bennett, ACSC, Vice-Chancellor and President of Bond University, Professor Tim Brailsford, the academic faculty, parents, supporters, friends, and of course, last but not least, you, the graduands of 2019 medical cohort. Spitfire. I'm reaching into my pocket here. Who would have thought a piece of perspex from a World War II fighter plane would result in probably the greatest ophthalmological device created ever? Well, let me tell you the Harold Ridley story. Harold Ridley was an ophthalmologist who practiced in the south of England during the Second World War, and he made the incredible observation that perspex lodged in a pilot's eye from the canopy of a Spitfire mounted no foreign body reaction. And he puzzled and thought about this for a while, and then he thought, well, maybe I could fashion a lens to put in someone's eye who'd had a cataract operation. See, a cataract is the lens in the eye, as you guys all know, that focuses the light on the retina. And when the lens becomes cloudy, you can't see through it. So the operation was simply to remove the lens, but not replace it. But it had to be replaced, so those patients had to wear very, very thick glasses, which were quite disabling. It was even difficult to pour a glass of water from a jug because their depth perception was way out of sync. And so Harold Ridley in 1949 had some of these very early prototype lenses fashioned by a contact lens company and implanted them in people's eyes. And some of these patients did very well, but some of them didn't do that well. And Ridley, unfortunately, was ostracised by the profession at the time. The operation somewhat fell into disrepute, but Ridley continued with his works. And in the early 70s, the Americans got onto the technology and they refined the technique, and they manufactured the lens and designed the lens in a much, much better way. So the operation really took off in the early 70s, but it hit a stone wall in the late 70s when the anti-intraocular lens lobby grew stronger and stronger, and it eventually resulted in a court case. And it looked like the intraocular lens was going to be a banned device in the United States. And the case was not going well for the pro-intraocular lens lobby. The anti-lens lobby was winning. And one of the surgeons in the pro group had recently operated on a famous actor called Robert Young. Now, I'm sure none of you graduands will ever remember a TV show that ran through the 70s by the American Broadcasting Company called Marcus Welby MD. But I suspect some of the people in that audience who are my age will remember Marcus Welby MD. And Marcus Welby was the quintessential kind American doctor, and probably was everyone's image of what a doctor should be. So the case was going badly, and these doctors called Robert Young to the witness box, and he explained that his acting career was over. He was virtually blind, he could no longer read scripts, he had trouble walking distances on the acting stage, and the cataract operation had changed his life. And outside the courtroom, he was mobbed by the reporters, and to cut a long story short, the judge in his summing up felt that if it was good enough for Marcus Welby MD, it was good enough for the people of America. So as a result of that stunning testimony, we now have intraocular lenses. And this year alone, the world is on track to fit 30 million of these lenses. And, you know, we've also got another great pioneer in Australia, the late Fred Hollows, who brought not only these lenses to the Indigenous community of Australia, but set up manufacturing plants in Eritrea. So, step forward 10 years, in 1989, another innovator emerged on the Australian higher education scene, and of course, no great shock to the audience, that was Alan Bond. And like Ridley, Bond was met with disdain, and I think the kindest negative thing the naysayers had to say was, it'll never work. Well, of course, stepping forward another 30 years, of course it's worked, and you people are the living testimony that it did work. So Bond University, I guess, has a culture of innovation. It dares to be different, and I guess it's less constrained by conventional thinking. So what did Sir Harold Ridley, Alan Bond, the late Fred Hollows, and those very clever American ophthalmologists who had the wisdom to get an endorsement from the most famous doctor in the United States have in common? Well, I guess we call them now disruptors. They were disruptors, they changed the world, and they had an unshakable belief in what they were doing, and more importantly, they showed the quality of persistence. Well, I guess you're thinking, what does all this mean for you? Well, let me tell you, Bond to me has smaller classes, it has very personal teaching, but I think already that culture of innovation has been welded into your DNA. I was privileged only last week to attend a breakout session during the Sustainability of Healthcare colloquium, which was held in the university. And the object of that gathering of 80 people from all around the world was to endeavour to find ways to maintain the high standard that we all enjoy of healthcare here in Australia. And as I was sitting there, I realised that innovation was playing out right before my eyes. So I've enjoyed, I think, a fabulous time as a practising doctor, but I think the next 40 years are going to be really, really exciting. And I'd probably almost wager that amongst the cohort today, there'll be a few Harold Ridleys because of that innovative culture that we have here. Well, I guess it's probably appropriate, if you're the occasional addressee, to give some gratuitous advice. So guys, here it comes. Look after your patients. I guess that's just a given. Everybody knows that. But I was given early in my career some what I thought was good advice by John Corboy, who's an ophthalmologist in Hawaii, who founded the Royal Hawaiian Eye Foundation. And he said about patients, they don't care how much you know until you show them how much you care. So while it's a great place to be, a practising doctor, and it's a very satisfying career, I dare say there probably aren't many more, even more satisfying careers than medicine. But at times it can be a very lonely place. People don't always respond the way you'd like them to. You wake up at night thinking, if only I had have done the operation slightly differently, maybe the outcome would have been different. So one of my most important things that I'd like to say to you is, look after yourselves. Always find trusted advisors to have around you, because things won't always go swimmingly. And be prepared to be trusted advisors for your friends and colleagues, because they too will need some support during their careers. Dare to challenge the status quo, because I think that's the way things truly change. But only do it when you feel it needs challenging, not just for the sake of it. And I'd like to say, gratuitous advice again, join the AMA, get to know your federal politicians. I was a branch councillor. Get to know your politicians, both state and federally, because you're never going to know when you need some allies. And just in conclusion, in those very famous words of the British wartime Prime Minister, Sir Winston Churchill, never give up. So, because after all it takes is an idea, persistence, and even a fragment of perspex to create 30,000 success stories. Thank you, and congratulations to you all.
that little photo stop also gave them the opportunity to give me my assistance here, which is a little step that I stand on so that I can see over the lectern and actually look at you. I think you'll agree with me that that was a really interesting story. I found myself consciously wondering what was going to come next as I listened to the story of the Perspex and how it developed. And I thought it was wonderful the way Darryl weaved it in to talk about the past, to talk about inspiration, innovation, running that through into persistence, working it in with Bond, of which he has so much involvement and of which he's so proud, and then taking that through to a message for you for the future about bringing it up to date with disruption, characterising those past things as disruption, which is what it was. It just wasn't the word that they used then. Now it's very trendy. You could all go out and say that you're disruptors. But also just giving you those words from his own experience, which in the end really is the best advice you can be given because you've had lots of theory. So I think that I found that story absolutely inspirational. I loved it, and it was typical of the man that he spoke so much about others' role in the development of an area where he has himself so excelled. Not many people do that. They tend to talk more about themselves. Yet Darryl has put it all in the realm of the bigger picture. So that's a lesson to us all, and I'd like you to join with me in thanking him again. Now, the Vice-Chancellor's already spoken to you about what a fabulous occasion this is. It is fabulous. I'm looking at all the people in the room. Each one of these people thinks that it's fabulous, and it's going to be even more fabulous in that one gorgeous moment when you prove to them that you've actually made it, because until you do, like most parents, they sit in friends, especially parents, I have to say, because I've sat there, is that you're sitting there going, is anything going to go wrong? Is something going to happen that is going to say that you didn't pass your exams, that something happened? But, you know, it's okay, just breathe. But the other thing I wanted to mention is that it is a wonderful experience and moment, but there are some younger members of the audience for whom it is not quite as riveting. I know you find that hard to believe. And if they want to run around or make a noise or they get a bit disturbed, please be tolerant, because they're here because they're loved and they're loving. And they want to be part of it, but they may not just have the patience that the rest of us have. Now, you guys have been really lucky because you're Bondies. And the good news is that you don't stop being Bondies because you leave. As far as we're concerned, you're always going to be Bondies, and you'll have the same experience I have when you go out. And as soon as you mention that you went to Bond University, you will notice that around the room there'll be other faces that light up. They light up in a way that the graduates of other universities just never do when you mention their university. And you'll have instant recognition of another Bondie, and you'll have something totally in common, even if they're not from your own particular cohort. So you'll enjoy that. It's a wonderful moment to feel. I feel it every time, and I'm not even an actual Bondie myself. I'm only a Bondie by the fact that my daughter, one of my children, came here, and now I'm the Chancellor, so this is like the best moment for me. I can actually pretend that it's all my work and I've done it all, so you guys don't let me down, okay? But of course, that's what Bond has over and above everything else. We have outstanding academic teaching. We teach you everything you need to know, like everything. Now, I'm hoping you're all nodding. Are you nodding? No, you're saying no? No, you learned everything, right? So you learned everything you need to know to go out and practice medicine, but you've got more of it here, because what you got here was individual approaches, nurturing care, small class sizes, and most importantly, you have each other. And there's no point in being part of a university cohort where there are thousands and you don't even get to meet the other students who are going to graduate with you. So enjoy the moment and enjoy this particular moment, because it really is outstanding. And I would like to congratulate not only each of you, but also, and importantly, as the Vice-Chancellor said, each and every one of the people in this hall and those who didn't make it, who have made this possible for you. We know that there are sacrifices involved. We know it's not easy to send a student often away from home, and certainly where it's not given away for nothing, where you can, so that we appreciate the sacrifice and the thought and the effort and the support that has gone into enabling each of you to graduate. Now, I want you to know that until I say some magic words, you haven't graduated, so you've got to be patient. Because, of course, they're not graduates yet, they're only graduands. And I have to say some magic words in order to make that happen. and I'm about to do that. So I now call on the Deputy Chair of the Academic Senate to present the candidates for degrees.
Will all candidates for degrees please stand? Chancellor, I wish to present graduates from the School of Medicine for admission to awards of Bond University. Chancellor, I certify to you and to the University that the graduates have satisfied the requirements for admission to the awards for which they are being presented.
With the authority of Council, I hereby admit you to the degrees for which you've qualified. I also admit to their award in absentia the graduands who are listed in the graduation program who are unable to be present today. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the moment of graduation. Please join with me in congratulating the most recent graduates of Bond University. We will now move to the formal presentation of testaments.
Graduates, you may be seated.
Chancellor, I present graduates from the Faculty of Health Sciences and Medicine. Marzan Adel. Naina Ahmed. Rajna Ahmed. Zara Ajam. Rafia Alam. Ali Almashut. Naga Snigta Sri Anapareddy. Philippatir Anthony. Ramandeep Singh Bains. Alexander George Bashford. Mark Bastaris. Reese Bennett. Jeremy Bichet. Benjamin Blodorn. Suhas Bolasetti. David Bruff. Christopher Chen. Sarah Chapello. Courtney Nicole Clark. Maeve Ann Connolly. Emma Grace Rithen Cullen. Jason Richard Daly. Ratchet Dada. Shravya Kiran Divi. Hayden Michael Dodds. Mihir Amit Doshi. Serena Lily Eng. Kelly Yu. Paige Ann Evans. Monica Fehmi. Peter Girgis Fauzi. Rosemary Gayed. Harshpreet Gitora. Dasun Chaturanga Gadagama. Pooja Halasagi. Jeremy Ho. Christabel Ho. Lucy Hogan. Sophia Huntley Antipa. Myrna Ishak. Cassandra Jade Joyce. Sarah Mujabin Kabir. Nathan Theja Kanchula. Nikki Kathuria. Archna Kesavan. David Tadros Khalil. Ashwini Kularatnam. Shona Kumaran. Declan Marr. Richa Mahatra. Pauline Malik. Verena Mansour. Alexander Maurus. Maria Malik. Simran Modi. Keanu Daniel Munoz. Abdul Rahman Muhammad. Halim Muhammad Abdul. Natanya Maloney. Madeline Morrison. Karan Kumar Motupalli. Malia Mushfik. David Nevin. Justin Yanting Ng. Lawrence David On. Wade Reese Ostrapok. Estelle Allison Claudette Page Taylor. Veena Pakirathan. Anthony Pham. Maxwell Simon Porter. Shamya Puta. Prashanthi Raviraj. Cheyenne Rona. James William Ryan. Michael Schultz. Sathya Selvakumar. Pranathi Sedapelli. Malav Samir Kumar Shah. Ashwin Shanmugalingam. Pooja Sharma. Sartag Singh. Anjaneya Sinha. Rochelle Sarah Sleeby. Savannah Kate Smith. Varun Soni. Corey Stone. Sujan Arun Surendran. Tien Phuc Thai. Edward Charles Sutherland Weir. Raveen Wijasekura. Andrew Wilson. Jeremy Yo. Angela Nansing Zheng. Chancellor, the valedictorian has been selected to give the valedictory address on behalf of the graduating cohort this afternoon. During her program, she was first in class in Year 3, placed on the Dean's List for Academic Excellence and the Vice Chancellor's List for Academic Excellence on several occasions, and was awarded the Therapeutics Award in Year 5. In addition, she has been active within the university and in the community. Adelina Mary Gendy.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Deans, academics, and distinguished guests. I would also like to welcome family and friends, and of course, the incredible graduates and Australia's newest doctors. I can't express how incredibly humbling it is to speak on behalf of a vibrant, talented, and extraordinary bunch of people. In the fear of sounding painfully cliche, it gives me great pleasure to say, we made it. And yes, you too, Varun. Today marks the end of almost 5 years of hard work, sacrifice, and pretending to be doctors, and the beginning of hard work, sacrifice, and pretending to be doctors. As this journey comes to an end, I cast my mind back to first year, PBL days, when showing up at 8:05 instead of 8 o'clock somehow meant we were absent for the whole day. And the terrifying thought of a 3% Week 6 quiz had everyone camping in the MLC for the entirety of Week 5. While Neelam tried to show us the basic unit of life under a microscope, we spent more time pondering our own. Mark and Simran imprinted an image of maple syrup urine disease that I'm sure will linger in our minds for an unnecessarily long time. We slowly crawled up Michelle's spiral staircase of learning, and if we had $1 every time Gary said complexity, we'd all be walking out today debt-free. Then came second year. Block by block, we panicked in anatomy, dozed off in embryology, and crammed our pathology. We also began developing our consultation skills. Dual heart sounds, no murmur, a phrase that followed an awkward pause just long enough to convince the examiners we heard anything other than our own heartbeat. Every pulse was strong and regular, every blood pressure was 120 on 80, and every patient had a normal BMI because we had to announce it to their face. Before we knew it, it was time for Bond Virtual Hospital, our safe haven, where Vic Brazel, Namat, and Anne Spooner patiently mentored us through into our clinical years. I have no doubt I speak on behalf of the entire cohort when I say you have been an inspiration to us all and an integral part of our professional development. Even when simple tasks like pressing the MET call button proved too challenging, you still made us feel like we could be doctors one day. We sincerely thank you for the time you dedicated in handing down your knowledge to us and assisting us in this transition. Our clinical years were indisputably the toughest years. From rotation to rotation, clerk cases to ITAs, sleep was a luxury some of us are still trying to catch up on. To our family and friends, picture this: 40 hospital hours a week with a boss expecting you to know all the answers, and a university that recommends we both study for 8 hours and sleep for 9, eat a balanced diet, maintain a social life, and somehow not have a Britney Spears-like meltdown. As I said, sleep was a luxury. We have all come such a long way, starting off by regurgitating a few lines we memorised in our clinical skills, to delivering babies in the Solomon Islands, suturing in the ED, and even picking up on potentially missed ectopic pregnancies. Although I can't predict what all our futures will be like, I can guarantee we've been equipped with the skills and the perseverance to face the challenges that lie ahead. This is all thanks to Bond University, the faculty, and the medical program. The education provided at Bond was second to none. To all the academic, administrative, and management staff, we cannot thank you enough for the support and encouragement you've given us throughout the years. Furthermore, on behalf of the whole cohort, I'd like to thank our family and friends, and especially our parents. You've afforded us this remarkable opportunity that not all may be privileged to, and we are all truly very lucky. The last few years have been a challenge beyond what anyone could have foreseen. You should all be very proud of yourselves. Being a doctor is a privilege and should not be seen as an opportunity to ensure a self-indulgent superiority. Throughout our clinical rotations, we witnessed a myriad of doctors, each with a unique professional style and personality. I implore you to take the time to reflect on what kind of doctor you want to be. Don't let the pressure of this profession turn you into someone you are not. Choose a specialty that embodies all that is important to you. Be kind to your patients and respect them and their families in their times of vulnerability. Respect your colleagues and learn from them. Take every opportunity to teach your juniors, and don't ever forget what it felt like to be a student. On a personal note, I want to thank my parents for their unwavering support. Thank you for believing me and teaching me the importance of hard work. I know how great a sacrifice it was for you to send me to this wonderful university, and I will forever be grateful for it. To my roommate Maria, you are the kindest person I know. From packing my lunch for a long day at hospital to reminding me to unwind and de-stress, thank you. To my OSCE buddies Monica and all her 65 different personalities, thank you. Thank you for letting me poke and prod you for the last 3 years, and even giving me the privilege to examine your feet a few times. I know how big a deal that is. Myrna, you've made my belly ache repeatedly from both laughter and your cooking, and helped turn some of the toughest experiences into a source of joy. Thank you. Chris Solomon, thank you for your guidance, and more importantly, your Evernote access. Needless to say, a lot of us wouldn't be here today without it. To my GC family, everyone at Focus Bond, you've made what could have been a very lonely 5 years away from home some of the best years of my life, and I thank you for that. So in summary, congratulations to you all. Continue working hard, look after each other, and more importantly, yourselves. And good luck with your future careers. God bless you all.
Sorry, I've got a little tear in my... That was lovely, thank you. Can the graduates please stand? Did we practice this at the morning tea yesterday? No. Okay, I'm going to read the first sentence and we'll read it all together, then I read the rest, and then we read the last bit together. It's the last test. All graduates and myself to read. I swear to fulfill to the best of my ability and judgment this covenant. I will respect the hard-won scientific gains of those physicians in whose steps I walk, and gladly share such knowledge as is mine with those who are to follow. I will apply for the benefit of the sick all measures that are required, avoiding those twin traps of overtreatment and therapeutic nihilism. I will remember that there is an art to medicine as well as science, and that warmth, sympathy, and understanding may outweigh the surgeon's knife or the chemist's drug. I will not be ashamed to say I know not, nor will I fail to call in my colleagues when the skills of another are needed for a patient's recovery. I will attend to my own health and well-being and abilities in order to provide care of the highest standard. I will respect the privacy of my patients, for their problems are not disclosed to me that the world may know. Most especially must I tread with care in matters of life and death. This awesome responsibility must be faced with great humbleness and awareness of my own frailty. I will remember that I do not treat a fever chart, a cancerous growth, but a sick human being whose illness may affect the person's family and economic stability. My responsibility includes those related problems if I am to care adequately for the sick. I will prevent disease whenever I can, for prevention is better than cure. I will remember that I remain a member of society with special obligations to all my fellow human beings, those sound of mind and body as well as the infirm. We'll read the last bit together, okay? If I do not violate this oath, may I enjoy life and art respected while I live, and remembered with affection thereafter. May I always act so as to preserve the finest traditions of my calling, and may I long experience the joy of healing those who seek my help. Thank you. Please be seated.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us almost to a close. My role is to say a few thank yous and offer a couple of departing words as the latest graduates from Bond University exit this hall. So in terms of my thank yous, I think it more than appropriate that I thank on your behalf Dr. Adelina Gendy. So Adelina, that was some valedictory speech you gave. You took us through the full range of emotions, the highs of laughter and joy, an understanding of the pressures and the hard work, and you also pulled at our hearts with such an emotional and personal delivery. I know that your family here have flown up from Sydney. Adelina's from Sydney, and I think you're in residence of Blacktown, part of the Bond Mafia. We're trying to infiltrate Blacktown down there. So good luck to you in your internship down there. Ladies and gentlemen, it really was a wonderful valedictory address. Will you please acknowledge Adelina's words? Can I also thank Dr. Daryl Gregor for setting the scene and delivering such a wonderful occasional address. Daryl, you know that you're very fondly thought of as a great friend and supporter of this institution, and today just illustrates exactly why. On behalf of the graduates, can I thank again everyone in the room. There are many in the room who have sacrificed to assist the graduates on their journey. It's been a lengthy journey. It didn't just commence the day that they enrolled here 5 years ago. Indeed, I suspect it commenced many years before that. Generally, people who wish to study medicine don't suddenly wake up in the morning and say, the light bulb's gone on, I want to be a doctor. Usually, as we all know, it's a lifelong passion. And the pursuit of that passion has come to reality. And so I say to our graduates, please take a moment to thank everyone who has helped you along your way. While many are in the audience and you'll have an opportunity to celebrate with them in just a few minutes, recognise that there are many who are unable to be with us today. And you'll be tempted to say, oh, I might thank them via Facebook. Text. Email. Thank them in person. You know that thing that you just cannot get out of the palm of your hand? That mobile device you carry around? Believe it or not, it has a functionality embedded within it called a telephone. Use it this afternoon to call someone. They would love to hear your voice, and they'd love to hear the words, thank you. So make that a goal. Squeeze it in somewhere amongst the celebrations. Thank the people that have helped you along your way. Now, as you depart, you are now proud graduates of this university, and while this university is a wonderful institution in which to work, we are blessed to be located in a great climate, in a great city, with a great lifestyle, in a magnificent campus. But we are first and foremost, and will always be, a university. And universities are all about people. All about people. So the relationships that you have formed during your years here will be important relationships going forward. They'll be relationships with your own networks, amongst your peers, but they'll also be relationships with the faculty members, who I trust will forever be mentors to you throughout your professional and perhaps personal journeys which lie ahead. And remember that your actions will not just reflect upon you and your family, but they'll reflect upon this institution. And like every Bondi that's gone before you, your reputation and their reputation are inextricably linked. So recognise that your decisions, the way in which you point your moral compass, the way in which you exercise moral and ethical decision making will reflect upon a wide and varied but very proud group of Bond alumni. This university was not founded off the basis of government, nor is it funded by government. It is funded by everyone here in this audience. We are Australia's first private, non-profit university, and every single cent we get goes into the educational programs of our current and future generations of students. I thank you for choosing Bond. I thank everyone in this room for allowing and assisting these graduates to choose Bond. Be forever proud of that, as we are forever proud of you. Thank you. Today also marks the final graduation ceremony for one of our long-standing staff members. This gentleman, and indeed he is a gentleman, has given over 29 years of service to this university. This is his 125th graduation ceremony and his last, as he is soon to retire and enjoy a very well-deserved break from his duties and his outstanding contribution to this university. His name is Dr. Allen Finch. Many of you students will have known Allen and met Allen and knows what a strong advocate he is for the student body and the student voice. It would be remiss of us, I think, if we didn't acknowledge Allen's contribution in a formal manner and recognise 125 graduation ceremonies. Dr. Finch, will you please rise? Thank you, Allen. So that brings us to a formal end. And while we have had the opportunity to acknowledge each and every one of our graduates that they have crossed the stage, we really haven't given them a collective round of congratulations. Now, before you enjoy yourselves, just one message: be good tonight. Be good tonight. Okay. If you're not aware, ladies and gentlemen, it's a tradition here where our final year students have a dinner and a ball, and there are always some interesting stories which I do not like to wake up to in the morning. So this is now your opportunity as a collective to make a lot of noise for the latest graduating class from Bond University. So how about we give it up for them? Will our graduates please stand? And the academic procession will soon depart, and I call upon our piper to lead us out, Fergus. His name is actually Fergus. Ladies and gentlemen, I now ask you to be upstanding to respect the departure of the academic profession. Thank you and enjoy.